A, because people are scared, and B, the major thing is because they'll lose too much money.
So during the 80s, John Barnes and Justin Fashioner were racially targeted across the whole of the UK. Absolutely appalling scenes, up and down. It was week in, week out, in particular from away fans as well. That has obviously massively improved in the last 20, 30 years.
If you haven't suffered racism, or you're not suffering it on a regular basis, you're not going to know what it's like.
So John Barnes has only just recently come out and said that black players should not be walking off the pitch, or any players in fact. You see him regular on the news, sticking up, and obviously backing players as well. Not just black players, he's talking about ethnic minorities as well. Barnes is an advocate for racism, and it needs to kick it out, it really does.
You might say that you're sorry, I appreciate your apologies and I appreciate your understanding, but you're not going to understand what it's like when you're walking onto a pitch or in the stands and you're hearing this towards a player that's the same skin colour as you.
It was only just a few days ago that Capicella, who plays here at Watford, had backed Raheem Sterling for what he come out and said when he was obviously racially abused in Montenegro. Now Capicella has said that if a player goes to referee back in his country, if you go to a referee and say, look, I'm being racially abused, you actually get booked. Can you believe that? You actually get booked? Absolutely bonkers.
Okay, so unfortunately, in 2019, racism still exists in the Bundesliga. I mean, Jerome Boateng has been one of those players who's openly spoken out about it. And he said even though he won the World Cup with Germany in 2014, he still hears monkey chants and racist comments from the stands in trainings and in matches. And that's just not okay.
And if we're seeing our role models getting this abuse purely because they got the same skin colour as us, then it's a problem. We didn't choose to come out like this. We didn't choose to come out black. We're born black and we're getting abused just because of that.
We're at Arsenal, where it's a community heavily dominated by all kinds of race. You're talking from mixed race to white to black people as well. Now just recently, Ainsley Maitland-Niles come out and said in just December that he was racially abused playing for the youth side while he was over in Germany. Obviously this is going back a few years, but he was disappointed that nothing had come of this. So who's to blame here? Is it the FA? Do we need to even go further? Is it a UEFA thing? Is it a FIFA thing? Of course we've seen the Raheem Sterling incident in Montenegro. How do you punish people like that? Because given you know, clubs and nations small fines is nothing. Clubs like this, and I'm not just picking on Arsenal, you talk about any Premier League side, can easily racially abuse people. And it's a daft idiot in the crowd. Finding a club 30,000, that's nothing. You've got to hit them harder. So the fans in Montenegro, make them play in an empty stadium, make them play in 2 or 3 empty stadiums. At least it's a start. At least it's a start. That something has to be done, because finding these clubs, short pocket change is nothing. This community will understand that a little bit better. He's a local lad. He would have suffered. And for him not to speak out, it's a damn crying shame. It's an absolute crying shame. Something needs to be done. And the governing body, it's up to you to do it.
Now I've seen the campaigns, I've seen the t-shirts worn before the game, not working. I've seen the armbands worn during the game, not working. I've seen the Premier League ads or the advertisement, not working. Now the 3 suggestions that I believe is A, dock points, B, stadium ban, and the third one, which is coming very, very soon, mark my words, it's going to be a walk-off. Now, all of them is something that I don't believe I've seen before in the Premier League game. And why not? Why not? Now, the counter argument is, what about the 99.9% fans that are not racist, whether they're white, black or Asian? I get that. But sorry, we all got to suffer in this for us to move forward, because all the other things have not been working. So I don't care about your £30 ticket. I don't care about your £1,000 season ticket at the moment, because this is bigger than that. Those are all replenishable. I want to see affirmative action, proper action, so I can go to a game, you can go to a game without hearing that abuse. It's bad enough the ref getting it for wrong decisions, but someone getting abused for the colour of their skin, something that they can't help, something that they're proud of being, nah, sorry, not for me. Players walk off the pitch, which I think needs to happen, or at least until that person or that group of fans are escorted out of the stadium. Danny Rose has recently come out and said, look, I can't wait to finish playing football, something that he's been playing the majority of his life, the thing that he's been working so hard for, the thing that he feeds his family with, and he's so passionate about. We can't wait to get out of the game. Why? Because the amount of abuse that he's been suffering. Something wrong here. If a Premier League footballer who's dreamed to play Premier League football, played football professionally for the whole of his life, can't wait to get out of the game, we've got a problem here.
The Bundesliga, the DFL, they've all come out against it, saying it's not acceptable and it has no place in football. Clubs like Dortmund and Gladbach, they've even installed banners in their stadiums saying football and racism don't match. You know, Eintracht Frankfurt's president even went as far as to ban AfD supporters completely from being a part of the club. But at the end of the day, for me, the most important thing is to take a hard stance against it. So if you're caught being racist or making racist chants, you need to be banned.
Actually, a couple of weeks ago, Spurs' ladies team, one of their players was racially abused by an opposition player. Can you believe that? Sophie Jones is alleged to verbally abuse Renée Hector, who plays for the Spurs ladies side as well. Look, it happens. It can happen in the women's game. It can happen in any day of life. You could go to work tomorrow and it can happen as well. So it just goes to show you it's not just a football problem. You can walk down the street. You know, Spurs fans get a lot of, you know, of opposition fans in particular about the Jewish community around here as well.
There'll still be racist people out there, but if they know that there's a fine, a heavy fine or a heavy penalty for abusing us as people, not just one player, because you abuse all of us, by the way.
You know, you've got the governing bodies like Kick It Out and Show Racism the Red Card are trying their best, but I think it's more than just a football thing. It's an educational thing, as I've said already, and this needs to go down to the schools from primary school all the way up until they leave school for me. And then when they become an adult, you know, if people are going to be stupid, well, they're not educated enough. It's simple as that. It's you've got to educate kids so when they come into being an adult, none of this stuff goes on. How you're going to get the odd idiot? You are. You're going to get the odd idiot that's going to scrape through, but it's a lot better than what it was 20, 30 years ago, but it still needs more and more to be done.
At the moment, the only people who are suffering is us. To white players and offend them racially on the pitch, yet, or to my knowledge, the only way to hit them is financially. And I'm sorry, if we all got to suffer for a couple of games, then so be it. So that might send a message for them not to do it, because at the moment there's no fear of people doing it. I just felt like I needed to rant and say my thing on this matter, because I've been going to too many of these conferences, too many of these events, and hearing the same thing about how it's bad, but there's nothing happening at the moment. There's no solutions. I'm seeing key spokespeople, I'm seeing ex-players talk about it, and they know it's bad, but the people that hold all the power are not doing anything about it, because everything that's previously working is not working, or previously think that it was working is not working.